Okay.
And I'll tell you, so that's great. That's one tip. And
to get off to a good start.
Slowly getting the kids off to a good start. And don't mention fresh fruit, because we've already kind of, like you said, they're looking for boxes, they're looking for stuff to shake, you know, they're looking for junk.
Adult foods. Let's just do adult foods, because we got so much we have to cover.
We do, we do. Now, adult foods, they run out to Asian restaurants. Asian restaurants are all over the place now.
Yes, they are.
These big smorgasbords, and there's some healthy choices there too. But let's face it, unless you're doing it hands-on yourself in the kitchen, you're the one that controls what's going into that stir fry, right? So stir fry is a nice term, stir fry, but you know something? They're using the word fry, so there's a lot of oil in there, and then they've got a lot of other stuff that goes into there too. If you do it at home, you're really controlling it. You want to do a little stir fry here today?
Sure.
What are you thinking about?
Sure.
I think it's a great idea, so I'm gonna.
Do you have a license to do this?
I do. Yes, I do.
You qualified?
Yes,
okay.
I qualify. You first take a walk. Take a walk. No,
okay.
You take a walk.
A walk. Take a walk. Okay.
And
a widow walk or a medium-sized walk?
Well, this is a medium-sized walk.
Okay, a medium-sized walk.
Yay. So now I'm doing something a little different. I encourage people, again, to take a walk. This is curry. This is green.
I've never seen curry
before.
before.
Take a smell of it. Isn't that
wonderful? It's kind of got a gingery.
That's awesome. Now, here's the thing. We order it when we go out, but we don't deal with it at home.
No, never have.
We have to look for a box of curry like this, and you can get green curry and work with it at home. I'm going to heat up a little water.
I can't believe it. This is the first time I've ever seen curry.
Well,
this
it also
so cool.
comes in a powdered form, but this is kind of a neat form because it creates its own sauce. So I'm doing this. I'm going to put it in here, create a little curry sauce.
The little clumps are sitting in the water. I don't know if you can see that. And it's kind of down here in this little walkie thing. Turn it so they can see. Yes, yes. See, it's just goop, and it's like marbles
and
in
eventually
water.
they'll start to disintegrate.
It's starting to thicken, and then they're disintegrating.
And we're going to turn this all the way up because I want a lot of heat here.
Okay.
Now, when you're doing, hand me are there carrots over there, David?
Carrots?
No carrots?
There's no frozen carrots here.
No frozen
carrots. That's all I've ever seen.
How about the peppers? Give me the peppers. We'll work with those.
These?
Yep.
I don't see any pre-cut peppers here either. I don't know what they. Oh.
When you're in the vegetable aisle, look for color. Look for beautiful green, dark green colors.
Hot, yeah.
Look for reds. And this is where your antioxidant and a lot of your really good vitamin value comes from something like this.
I'll stir this while you do that.
Good idea. And I'm going to de-seed this pepper, and I'm going to chop it up a little bit. And what I'm doing is I'm taking some of the harder vegetables, like the pepper. That's going to go into my stir fry first. I hate the pre-packaged stir fry vegetables. I'll tell you why, because they mix delicate vegetables along with some of the harder vegetables. And when you put this whole box in together, what happens? The softer vegetables.
So you just throw some stuff in?
I just start throwing it into the wok.
Okay.
Yes.
We can do that.
We can do that. Okay. Stir that up and heat it through.
Let it keep.
And I'll tell you something else, David.
I hope you would.
The long green leafy thing there.
There's nothing here frozen that I'm familiar with like that. I don't know where there would be something here.
Thank you. This did not come out of a freezer, folks.
Oh, this is what the real thing looks like.
This is bok choy, and this is just absolutely delicious. Very, very mild in flavor. You don't want to eat the greens, but I'll tell you what, you want to keep the greens because they're a cool thing to garnish with.
Bok choy.
Bok choy.
Bok choy.
Yes, I'm going to throw that over there. I'm just going to use.
I thought those were going to go in here, but they went over there.
They're the green leafy parts. We're not going to do that because.
And just think, this is the first time he's ever done any of this in his whole life. Isn't it phenomenal? It's just amazing.
It's amazing.
And you've only been doing it for 2 minutes. Okay, he's cutting it up into little tiny pieces. Yes. They look like this, ladies and gentlemen.
Yes, they do.
Little pieces of this and this, and I'm going to throw it right in here.
The bok choy is going in there.
Okay,
and I'll tell you what else. Hand me the box, the bag of now this is.
I don't see any frozen of those things either. I don't know where that's at.
This is nice and refrigerated and fresh. We live in an age where they do some cool stuff for us, so we can take advantage of this. Broccoli slaw. Broccoli is so good for us.
What?
And they've made it into nice little thin shaved pieces. So we're going to put that in there. Is that cool?
Now what we're going to do, which is even cooler, we're going to take a moment, we're going to take a quick break, and we'll be right back. And this stuff's still cooking.
Yes.
Don't leave because we're not through with the meal. A lot of experts in food say that the goal is to eat something called a whole food. Now, This is a whole food. It was actually, it's part of nature. It's existed in nature. This is a whole food. It's an orange. This is another whole food. This is ginger. Now, whole foods have a lot of nutrients, and you know, it's weird. Plants just don't have one compound like they put in those inexpensive vitamins. They have a whole plethora of micronutrients, minerals, these different things. So the trick is you want to move towards a diet with whole foods. It's naturally high in fiber. You don't have to buy a fiber product to eat. It's naturally high in fiber. You want to stay away from fats, and you want to eat a balanced diet, and we're starting to move towards this type of approach to cooking, which is back to the future. What they did in pioneer days is they ate more natural things and they grew a lot of them. Now that's a strange thing. We've made all this progress, and yet we're looking back to the future for the style of eating. Keep going with what we've got.
Did you notice there's one thing that we didn't put in this dish that they usually do in restaurants? Stir fry. I didn't put any oil in here yet. So this is really cool. All this is cooking.
Well, why do they use the stir fry with the oil?
Because they want to do it fast. They want to make it crunchy, and they just, these are old, they're into old ways of preparing instead of new ways of preparing.
So you don't have to use oil every time that you cook thing in a wok at home.
But you do need some moisture. I did put some water in.
Now what are these?
These are pea pods. Again, these you can eat just like this. They're delicious. Aren't they delicious? They're sweet. They're wonderful.
These come in packages like gum or something?
Yeah, you buy them freeze-dried and you put water on them.
Okay.
All right, put a few mushrooms in there, David. Just dump a few in there. Now, let me talk for a minute about mushrooms. That's okay. Go ahead. We're just cooking. You see, we're not measuring. We're just dumping and cooking. Now, there's coconut milk here, and you can buy low-fat coconut milk.
Comes in a can?
Yes, it does. And
coconut milk.
And you can buy low-fat coconut milk. Pour a little bit of that in there if you would. Now, here we go. We're starting to... A little more? Yeah, a little bit more. That's great. We're starting to give it kind of that Thai. Wonderful.
It smells great. It has this odor. I can smell the curry. That's the first thing that's coming into my awareness. And then I can,
Another thing here.
Yes.
I want you all to walk down the Asian aisle, and I want you to try some of these things. This is hoisin sauce, H-O-I-S-I-N. It's mild, it's low in sodium, it has great flavor, and very low in saturated fat. So this is another great sauce. It's a brown sauce. It's very commonly used in Asian cooking. I'm just going to use a tad bit of this in here.
Now, while this is cooking, let's talk a little bit about eating right for seniors, because we talked about the kids making the shapes in the morning. But, you know, seniors have the problem where they don't get out as much because it's hard to walk sometimes. They don't feel well, and they end up eating a lot of preservative-type food, like high-sodium stuff like hot dogs. What's the problem with that, Chef Jim?
Well, what is happening, these poor seniors have gone their whole lives. They've cooked for their families. They've cooked beautiful meals, thank you, because I talk with my hands. I can't stir at the same time.
Yes,
so
use your hands, please. Seniors.
Yes, so now they're kind of alone, and they're feeling a little sorry for themselves. Yeah. And you know what? They don't want to cook a big meal. They wind up throwing most of it out. They waste money. So they're looking to save a little money. You know, they buy some bologna. They make a little sandwich. You know what? That filled the bill.
Well, they want stuff that's easy. What do you have that's easy for them to do for a nice little meal?
Well, what I recommend doing is either something like this, or when you go out and buy chicken breast, buy several of them and cook several of them and chop and pour a little broth on the ones that are chopped.
Chicken breast?
I wouldn't bother with that. Yes, they do, but I think you can do it at home. Save a lot of money. Chop them, put a little broth on them, put them in a freezer bag, and freeze them. Now you've got some chopped, cooked chicken in the freezer, ready to go into some barbecue sauce.
I can hear what Mrs. Martin's saying right now. I can't afford to buy fresh chicken breast because it's too expensive. True or false?
At $1.69 a pound, bologna is more expensive.
Are you saying processed foods oftentimes cost more than the ones that are fresh?
Absolutely, absolutely, and they've got so much less going on. Bologna has got very little or no protein in it. It's all garbage ground up. I don't even want to get into what's in bologna. I'm just glad they call it bologna because it's a great name. Don't you agree? It's bologna.
For more Medical Matters television shows, go online to medicalmatters.tv.